The Galactic Council chambers stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian, a monument to power built by the 7 dominant species who controlled the known universe. Ambassador Chen Wei stood at the human delegation's platform, her fingers trembling slightly as she gripped the podium. Around her, holographic representatives of alien civilizations flickered with impatience: the crystalline Vextheri, the gaseous Nephilim collective, the towering Kron warriors. None of them wanted to hear what she had to say. "The Ithkarai matter is closed," declared Chancellor Vextor, his crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into 1,000 angry colors. "They violated Protocol 7. They spread beyond their designated sectors. The quarantine stands." Chen took a deep breath. 3 months ago, she hadn't even known the Ithkarai existed. No human had. They were the forgotten ones, a species erased from galactic memory, confined to a dying solar system at the edge of the outer rim. Their sun was collapsing. They had 15 years left, maybe less. "With respect, Chancellor," Chen said, her voice steady despite her racing heart, "Protocol 7 was established 4,000 years ago, long before humanity joined this council. We've reviewed the historical records. The Ithkarai's only crime was refusing to share their biotechnology with the Vextheri Empire." A wave of hostile energy rippled through the chamber. The Kron ambassador, General Krothax, slammed his four-armed bulk against his platform. "You dare question council law, human? Your species has been spacefaring for barely 2 centuries. You know nothing of galactic order." Chen had expected this. Humanity was the newest member of the Galactic Council, admitted only because Earth's position made it strategically valuable. The older races saw them as children playing at diplomacy. But Chen had spent 6 weeks in the Ithkarai quarantine zone, and what she'd witnessed there had changed her forever. She activated her holographic display. Images filled the chamber: Ithkarai cities crumbling beneath an orange dying sun, their children's luminescent skin dimming as radiation poisoning spread, their desperate attempts to build generation ships with technology centuries outdated. "They're dying," Chen said simply. 2 billion souls. They've petitioned this council 47 times for relocation assistance. 47 times, you've ignored them. They were warned, the Nephilim collective whispered, its voice like wind through empty corridors. They chose isolation over compliance. They chose freedom over slavery. Chen's voice echoed through the massive chamber. "You wanted to own their genetic engineering secrets. When they refused, you imprisoned an entire species in a death trap." The silence that followed was deafening. Chen could feel the weight of 1,000 alien eyes upon her. She was ending her career, possibly her life. But she thought of Thalmara, the Ithkarai scientist she befriended, who'd shown her the memorial gardens where they carved the names of children lost to radiation sickness. She thought of how Thalnara's bioluminescent patterns had pulsed with faint hope when Chen promised to speak for them. "Humanity invokes Article 12, Chen announced. "We offer sanctuary." The chamber erupted. Article 12 was ancient law, rarely used, the right of any council member to grant asylum within their own territory. It was typically reserved for political refugees, handfuls of individuals, not entire civilizations. Chancellor Vextor's form blazed scarlet. "Impossible. Your system cannot support 2 billion refugees. You lack the infrastructure, the resources." "We'll manage," Chen interrupted. "Earth's moon colonies have space. Mars is terraforming ahead of schedule. We'll petition our allies." "You have no allies strong enough to oppose this council," General Krothax growled. Chen smiled, a thin, determined expression. "Then we'll stand alone." The vote was called. The 7 dominant powers voted to maintain the quarantine, to let the Ithkarai die with their secrets intact. But Chen had counted on something the ancient powers had forgotten: courage was contagious. The Silmari delegation, a younger species like humanity, voted in favor of sanctuary. Then the Tyrannies Collective. Then the Free Worlds Alliance. Species that had long chafed under the Council's rigid hierarchy saw in humanity's defiance a chance for change. The final count, 17 for sanctuary, 7 against. Humanity spent the next 5 years orchestrating the largest refugee operation in galactic history. Human ships, outdated and patched together, made endless runs to the dying HFY system. Engineers from a dozen worlds volunteered to help build habitats. The HFY, whose biotechnology had been coveted for millennia, freely shared their knowledge with those who'd saved them. Chen stood on Luna Colony 7, watching the latest transport ship land. The HFY who emerged glowed with health, their natural bioluminescence restored. Thelnara was among them, her patterns pulsing with joy. Ambassador Chen, Thelnara spoke through her translator. Our people have a saying, in darkness, seek not the brightest light, but the truest one. Humanity burns true. Chen felt tears on her cheeks. Earth had taken a stand not because it was powerful, but because it was right. And in doing so, humanity had done something remarkable. They'd reminded the galaxy what it meant to be civilized. The forgotten had been remembered. The abandoned had found home. And an ancient empire's grip on power had begun to crack, all because one species refused to look away from suffering. In the years that followed, the alliance between humanity and the HFY would reshape galactic politics. But on that day, watching refugees step onto safe ground, Chen simply smiled. Sometimes, the newest voice in the room says exactly what everyone needed to hear.